I've just come in from being in the garden, and it reminded me of something that happened yesterday. One of the deacons was mowing his lawn, and he sent me a WhatsApp and asked, would you like me to mow yours? He only lives around the corner. So I said, well, yes, thank you very much. He knows that I don't have a lawnmower. We've just moved into this house a couple of months ago and we need a lawnmower. But he very kindly came around and mowed our lawn. And did a little bit more, actually. Pulled a few weeds up, and I didn't ask him to do that. He was just, in kindness, did it. And having been out in the garden just now, it really struck me that somebody else has been maintaining my garden, when in actual fact that I should be maintaining it. That should be my responsibility. It is my responsibility. Granted, it's a one-off, but nonetheless, it made me think about my spiritual life. Am I maintaining my spiritual life, or am I relying on someone else to teach me the scriptures, and to do I listen to sermons all the time instead of actually spending time in the Bible myself? And so I want to ask you, not who is maintaining your garden, but who is maintaining your soul, your walk with the Lord? Are you relying too much on other people to teach you the scriptures instead of getting into the Word yourself? God changes us in three ways, or He uses three things to sanctify His people. The first thing is circumstances. God will allow us to go through certain situations and circumstances, and He will use that to mold us and sanctify us. Another way He changes us is by using people. A pastor, elders, deacons, or a godly friend who will speak into our lives and quote the verses to us, or perhaps read the scriptures with us, or direct us in the right way for a particular topic or subject that we are struggling with. God uses people. And the third way God changes a Christian, transforms a Christian, sanctifies a Christian. And this is quite unique and different to the other two, because it involves us participating in it. And it's through spiritual disciplines. We decide whether we read the Bible day by day. We decide when we pray, how we pray, and whether we do pray. We decide whether we fast. We decide whether we serve the church. We decide whether we tithe. On one hand, spiritual disciplines, we must recognize that even the most iron-willed, self-disciplined person, that won't make anybody any holier. But on the other hand, we must and do recognize that we must do something to further the progress, knowing at the same time that it is God who works in us, but it requires our obedience. We place ourselves before God, or we should place ourselves before God, in order for Him to work in us, and that requires discipline. We are going through this coronavirus pandemic. At the moment, it's frightening, it's horrible, but by God's grace, that will be used to transform us and sanctify us. We won't see or realize that until we've come out the other side. And God is using people in my life to sanctify me at the moment, especially my wife. And I hope that God is using people in your life at the moment to further your holiness and godliness, to bring you closer to the Lord and to mold you and shape you to become more Christ-like. But also, this is down to you. You need to discipline yourself, to read the scriptures, to pray, and to force yourself into fellowship somehow. On Wednesdays, we have a prayer meeting where we use a program called Zoom, where a number of the folk in church can log on to this and we can see each other, and then we pray with each other. We have an online service at the moment. I'm trying to get more people involved. We're having someone else reading, for example, this Sunday. I'm making videos like this. I'm writing more articles, sending more emails. We have a WhatsApp group for the church. If you can think of any way that you can further or gain fellowship from someone or from a group of people, do that. Look into the scriptures more often. Use this time well. Read Christian books which will teach you what the scriptures say, how to interpret them, how to understand them, and how to apply it to your life. And so the deacon has maintained my garden this week, and I hope that's a one-off. I hope that I'll be able to grab hold of a lawnmower at some point. Am I allowing someone else to maintain my spiritual walk with God? I hope not. Yes, God uses circumstances, people, but we should all strive to be spiritually disciplined, and it requires obedience on our part. And so I just wanted to share that thought with you today. Maintain your gardens, but maintain your spiritual walk with God too.